tune on in, tap in with your boy, man. I got an important topic that I want to discuss today. So hopefully y'all got some time to chop it up and listen to the build and add your 2 cents, man. You already know how it goes. So I'm gonna give everybody a chance to tune on in before I start diving into the subject matter, man. What's today? Hopefully this Wednesday treating y'all good thus far, man. Y'all know how it is, though. It's one of these topics, man, that's near and dear to my heart, man, because, again, we talking about social fatigue, being an introvert, things of that nature, man. That's right up my alley because that's what I identify myself as. And a lot of times I feel like we misunderstood thoroughly. So any chance I have to break down something or a characteristic trait that comes with being an introvert, you already know I'm going to seize the moment, seize the opportunity. No face, peace, what's going on? A lot of times, man, those that classify as introverts, we are thoroughly misunderstood. We are thoroughly misunderstood, very thoroughly. Jakari, peace, what's happening? What's the word? But yeah, we are thoroughly misunderstood, man. And I just want to touch on what I feel like is the most misunderstood characteristic in regards to being an introvert. AK, peace, what's happening, man? A lot of people don't understand social fatigue, man, and how that impacts the introvert, man. I mean, it literally destroys the introvert. Literally destroys the introvert. Yeah, no face. You a rare breed because I'm not too fond of social settings. It really depends on the social setting. I got to be in my element, mainly something pertaining to fitness, or if I'm talking about something that I'm interested in. But for the most part, I'm cool on crowds. I'm cool on being amongst people, chatting it up with them. Like I'm cool on all of that, man. That tends to burn me out. And I done had jobs in the past working at banks and stuff like that that required me to do a lot of talking. And those jobs drain me, burn me out, man. Like drain me terribly. Nick, peace, what's happening, man? And I could relate to that for sure. I can relate to being burned out. I can relate to that 100%. I can relate to them. I could relate to corporate America having me messed up because they had me messed up. Man. I had plenty of situations, man. Plenty of situations like that some years ago. Like they really had me messed up, man. They was accusing me of certain things, man. It was just all bad out here, man. Then you dealing with the public, and the public could come in there, man, and they talking crazy. So you got to deal with that along with, you know what I'm saying, these corporate white folks that's mistreating you and discriminating against you and things of that nature, man. So it's a lot of all of that be going on in corporate America, especially for the black folks. Yeah, no facing. My preparation is like, I'm the type of person, man, I go to a store. If I see that the store is crowded, like I might have to sit in my car for like 30 minutes, man, before I actually go inside of the store, man. Like that's my preparation. Like I got to prepare to deal with the crowd. Like I really just don't want to go in there and deal with the crowd. So I distract myself and sit in my car for 30 minutes and things of that nature. Man, I know some people that even do that when it comes to going home, dealing with their family, dealing with kids. Like they'll post up in the car outside for like 20, 30 minutes before they go inside the house, just to kind of prepare themselves, man, for, you know what I'm saying, everything that's going to come their way. Things that they may have to talk about, like they may have to put on that front like everything is cool. Like I know a lot of people that do that. They can't even get right out the car and go into the crib. They got to prepare themselves to deal with the fam. So I know a lot of people like that. Yeah, AK, and that's what it is for the most part with me, man. I don't vibe with a lot of people. And even sometimes when I vibe with the people, even sometimes when we on the same vibe and frequency, I still get burnt out. Like I have a time limit, man. Once we start talking and it reaches probably like an hour, If that, like, I'm burnt out, like, all right, man, I'm ready to wrap this conversation up. Like, I really don't like talking to people for long periods of time. Like, it drains me, man, drains the battery. And a lot of times, man, this can have impacts in regards to being in relationships with other people. You know what I'm saying? So if you the black man, and you deal with social fatigue, social exhaustion, social anxiety, and things of that nature, and dealing with the public burns you out, it drains the battery, and you have to deal with the public because that may be your job. Like, that can take a toll on you in regards to your relationship, man, because if you spending 8-9 hours out of your day conversing with people and you really don't want to do it, by the time you get home, like, the last thing you want to do is continue to have conversation. Like, you just want to sit there. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, a lot of people like, man, what's wrong with you, man? Why you ain't talking? Why you don't want to talk? It's like, man, because I had to spend my entire day communicating with people. So the last thing I feel like doing after spending 8, 9, 10 hours talking is to talk some more. And it's like, no offense, like, I don't mean to cause any harm with that. That's just what it is. Like, that's just how I feel. Like, it's going to take a lot for me, like, to recharge once again to try to have a conversation. So a lot of times, man, people get in relationships with introverts and things of that nature, man, and we go through our work day, and when we get home, like, they take offense to us not really wanting to open up and talk. It just it takes a moment, man. Like, I'm somebody, I got to get warmed up. I got to get warmed up in order for me to indulge in a conversation, man. So, like, if you asking me questions, man, my response probably the first 2 or 3 questions, they gonna be light responses. But as I keep talking, it's like I'm warming up. And probably about 5 minutes into the conversation, it's like, now, okay, I'm warmed up. So now I'm able to elaborate more on things that I may have said. And a lot of people don't understand that. I'm not one of the ones that out the gate, as soon as you ask me something, I'm gonna give you an elaborate response. It takes time for me. It takes time, man. I gotta get warmed up. I gotta get loose, man. I gotta get my mind right to engage in this conversation. And a lot of times it really don't matter who I'm engaging in the conversation with. That's just how I am. That's that social fatigue, man. Like, I've been talking all day. I'm a little drained. So if you want to have a conversation with me after the fact, know I got to recharge, know I got to warm up in order for me to elaborate and carry on this conversation. So again, we mean no harm when we do that. That's just how some of us are. That's literally just how it is. Like, I don't intentionally go out of my way to give light responses. That's just how I'm wired, man. Like, if I'm socially exhausted, like, I just don't feel like talking. And when you just don't feel like doing anything, like, your body language is going to, display that reality. So it's going to take you time to get warmed up, man. It takes a person time to get warmed up when they are socially exhausted. So you gotta have that patience when you're dealing with somebody that's an introvert, especially when they gotta deal with the public in regards to earning their revenue, earning their income. Because by the time they get home, last thing they want to do is carry on the conversation. That's the last thing that's gonna be on their mind. MC, peace, what's happening? Your son, peace, what's happening? Justin, peace. RJ Ray, for sure. And you know, it's a stigma that comes with being an introvert. Like, a lot of people view us in a negative light, you know, but I feel like it's a lot of strength that comes with being an introvert. A lot of strength. I feel like it's a positive characteristic trait that I possess, being an introvert. But of course, society does not see it that way. Something is wrong with you if you are anti-social, if you're not sociable, if you don't go to a function and you don't chop it up with most of the people at the function, then of course they place this negative label on you. They view you in this negative light as if something is wrong with you because you don't want to socialize with people you don't know. Or you don't care to socialize with people you don't know. So you get viewed in that negative light. So we already know what's up with that, man. So they make introverts feel bad about themselves. And that's another thing that we have to deal with, the fact that people consider us abnormal, which I'm cool with that. But it's a lot of introverts that's not cool with that. So they feel like they have a problem. It's almost like the children when they misdiagnose the children with ADHD. Like, nah, man, ain't not, the child is being a child. This ain't their learning environment. They can't sit still because they are a child. But you making that child feel like the normal way is abnormal. So that's what people do to like introverts. Like naturally, normally, this is how we are. But now you done told everybody that this is abnormal. So you got us feeling a certain type of way about ourselves. When really, at the end of the day, it's nothing wrong with it. Everybody wasn't designed, or everybody isn't designed to be an extrovert. Everybody isn't designed to be social. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Oh yeah, Nick, we don't tolerate the disrespect. We don't tolerate people talking to us in that condescending manner, man, and talking down on us. We can't tolerate that. That don't fly. That don't fly at all. Oh, AK for sure, man. And like I said, and that's another thing too, man. It's like on top of it being draining, for the most part, when people talk to you, for the most part, people bringing problems, people bringing baggage, people bringing negativity. So it's like on top of the fact that you may have to deal with the public, you probably got to deal with the public when it comes to their problems. And that's a whole nother type of draining. That's a whole nother type of drain. That's a whole nother form of draining. So not only do you got to socialize with the people, but when you socialize with the people, all you are receiving are their problems, their negative energy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they relationship problems, they job problems, all of that. Problems they having with their parents. Like that's all they throwing on you. And you as an introvert, since you don't really care to carry on the conversation, more than likely you just listening. So you listening, so you accepting, you taking in all of this bad energy, and that's impacting you. I mean, just think about it. If you spend 8 hours out your day communicating with other people, and out of those 8 hours, 5 or 6 of those hours are people just drilling you with their problems, like, man, that's making you miserable. That's making you miserable at the end of the day, man. There's nothing good gonna come out of entertaining people and their problems for 6 hours out of the day every day, or 5, 6 days out of the week. That's detrimental to your health, man. That's detrimental to your health. Beautiful Goddess Keys, peace, queen. What's happening? What's happening? D still for sure. And that's another thing, man. People coming to you with their problems. I mean, all problems, and they don't want to hear solutions. And then the conversations are just, you know what I'm saying? You talking to brainwashed individuals who only trying to hear and see one side of the argument. Then when you bring the other side, then they don't want to hear anything that you got to say. So you having a lot of conversations like that, man. And that just, like I said, drains the battery. Drains the battery. It depletes you. It depletes you. So then when it's time for you to try to enjoy the fam, you want to enjoy the fam. You have good intentions, but you drain. You drain. You drain. When you introvert, your social battery, it don't last that long. It don't last that long. Like the social battery for most introverts, it does not last that long. It's not long lasting. It's not a long lasting battery life, man. It's not. So people don't understand how complicated it is, man. When you an introvert and you got to deal with the public, and then you trying to maintain a relationship, man, that is hard. It's hard, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. Like that's hard. It's hard, man, because being an introvert, I like to talk when I want to talk. I don't like to talk when I feel forced to talk. So if I'm having to talk already for my occupation, I feel like I'm already talking at a time or at times when I don't want to talk. And then when you go back and then you got to talk again, it's like, man, you can't really talk on your own terms. And that's hard, man. That's hard for some introverts. And I'm one of the introverts that's hard for. Like when I talk when I'm ready. I talk when I feel like I got something important to say and when I feel like saying what's important. When I don't feel like talking, I literally do not want to talk. But again, to me, that's harmless. To everybody else, that causes harm. But to me, it's harmless. It's like, man, I enjoy silence. Like I'm at a point now where I don't even like know it. Like I can sit in silence or just sit down with a book, no noise, no nothing, and I'm good. Like I don't have to talk. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to listen to music at this point. Like I can sit down with a book or sit down with the book closed and I'm just thinking, and that be it. I can vibe like that for hours. But the average person looking like, man, nah, you got to say something. You got to talk. You got to chatter. We got to gossip. I'm cool on all that, man. I'm cool on all that. I'm cool. I can literally go a day. I can literally go days, man, without speaking if I wanted to. Literally. Like the monks, when they take the oath of silence, I could literally commit to something like that and be good. Be good. That'll be good. Sharifman, peace. What's happening? The real Supreme Justice, peace. What's going on? Redbird, peace. What's happening? Appreciate you. Appreciate you tapping in. Justin, peace. What's happening? Yeah, the real Supreme Justice. Yeah, the energy is definitely for a select few. Because only a select few gonna understand it. Only a select few will understand it, man, especially when it's unconventional, untraditional, unorthodox, and things of that nature. You know, so I've come to realize that. And so that's why I'm striving to be in a field where if I got to communicate, I don't mind communicating in that environment. So that's why I tapped into like the fitness space, because I can have those type of conversations. I'm comfortable having those conversations. When it comes to being an introvert, like your comfort zone is everything. If you want to get an introvert to open up, place them in his comfort zone. Place her in her comfort zone. That's when we open up. That's when we talk. That's when we are more vocal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really got to be comfortable in order for us to begin communicating and start talking and volunteering information and things of that nature. Other than that, we going to sit back and we going to chill and we going to be just fine with minimal conversation. And like I said, a lot of people going to view that as a negative. A lot of people going to view that as problematic. You the person that's sitting back. Y'all know how it is, man. Y'all was that person in the room that didn't say nothing and everybody thought you was weird because you didn't talk. So you get labeled weird and all that type of stuff. Crazy. Oh, that's the crazy one. That's the one you got to watch out for, the one that ain't saying nothing. So we get labeled those type of ways, man. We just choose to remain silent. The person that's overly talkative, you know, they become popular. Everybody fool with that person. Ain't nobody calling them crazy. But when you the one that's just sitting back, observant, just don't feel like talking, now you crazy. They got to watch you. You the deadly one and things like that. Like, those are the stigmas that's attached to introverts for the most part. We get labeled crazy a lot, psychotic, things like that. Like, we literally get those type of labels, man. Literally. Create strategy, peace. What's happening? Lachelle, peace queen. What's going on? Everything is peaceful my way. Mike, and that's what I'm talking about, man. People when you dealing with introverts, man, you gotta let everything unfold, man, naturally. The worst thing you can try to do is force that introvert to like have long-winded conversations, man. Like, the introvert, for the most part, means no harm. When you ask them a question and the response may not be as in-depth as you would like it to be, means no harm. Got to get warmed up. That social battery is low. We got to charge it up. It takes time for us to be charged up. Like, literally, it takes time. It takes time, man. Y'all know, y'all may have driven old cars before, man. It's going to take that old car. Y'all done seen new cars, man. That new car can go from 0 to 100 real quick. That old car, nah, it takes time. It takes time for that old car to get the speed up. That's how the social battery is for introverts. It takes time for us, man. It takes time for us to get going in the conversation. So you can't take those things personal when you are dealing with somebody that's an introvert. Don't take it personal. It's taking that person time and they're getting charged up. They're getting warmed up. That's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. Take no offense, because we mean no harm. It's literally harmless what we doing. Yeah, we may feel like, it may seem like on the surface we are annoyed, we are irritated. It's not that. It's just like, we preparing ourselves to have to communicate again, because it doesn't come that natural to us. Like, even when I do these videos, like, y'all see me do these videos, but y'all don't see the preparation before I do the video. Like, how I have to deal with the mental before I find it in myself to go live and stream and do the video. Like, it's a whole process. I don't just get on this joint and start talking. Like, no, I gotta literally prepare myself like, man, I gotta I gotta carry on this conversation, this dialogue for about an hour or so. I gotta prep myself for that. Anytime that I'm about to talk, man, I gotta prep myself thoroughly, you know? And that may seem like it's something that's natural, but it's not. For the most part, man, some people are just natural, like they can naturally just get on here and just talk. No problem. Nah, I can't do that. And you got people that somebody will walk in here and they can just start talking natural, like that's natural to them. Some people just, it's natural. Not for me, it's not natural. It is not, being sociable is not natural, it's not normal for me. It's not. It's not. Not saying I can't carry on a conversation with any and everybody. I can. It just doesn't come as natural for me as it does for some people. Like, I got to feel you out. And once I feel you out, then we can go from there. Ronnie, peace, what's happening? You say you used to work at Six Flags. I was in my own world. You got to make it fun and laugh and joke with people and keep headphones in if you can't perceive it like that. Man, I didn't work in some of the, like I said, I done been in banking. So by default, I didn't have to deal with customers. So like, I wish I could work somewhere where I could just put headphones in and just vibe on out and just get the day over with. But like when I was in banking, man, that was stressful, man, because I'm having to talk on the phone. I'm having to communicate with people in person about their problems, about their money and stuff like that. Like, man, that was draining me. And sometimes you don't even realize the toll that it's taking on you until you get to the crib and have to deal with, like if you're in a relationship, have to deal with your partner, have to deal with your fam. And you like, hey, man, I really don't feel like talking right now. Like that's when it sinks in. Like, man, I really straight don't feel like talking. Like, I just did all this talking, and like now, when you can have a casual conversation with your partner, like you just don't feel like it. And it all stems from that long day at the gig where you have to do all that talking. And there's some actual science about, it's some actual science revolving around having to talk too much for a living and how that literally drains you. Like, it's actual science behind that. So this is not a myth. Like, that literally does drain you. It literally does cause problems to have to spend 7-8 hours a day communicating. Like, if you got the book Oxygen Advantage, that's a book that I recommend you get. Like, he talks about that in that book. So this is not something that we just making up. Like, this is something that's an actual fact, some real science behind what we're talking about. So again, don't take it personal. It's some actual science behind people having to communicate all day and how it takes a toll on them. It takes a toll on their health, physically and mentally. So it's science behind it. Rashawn, peace, what's happening? And yeah, man, I get to that point, and until, like I said, I'm forced to deal with the public. They don't necessarily sway my energy, but see, I'm a listener. So what happens is when you listen and people come to you with problems, then by default, like, you're receiving all these problems. So I have to do a lot of, I don't want to call it deprogramming, but I have to do a lot of neutralizing. And that's when it becomes draining. Because if people coming to me with all these problems, then I have to put a positive spin on the problem to neutralize the effect. And that's where it can be draining, having to neutralize all the negativity.